In this video, we're about to watch a British journalist utterly tear apart a devoted Trump supporter, leading her to quit on live TV. Let's dive into the details.
I've got to turn now to, as promised, to Dr. Jan Halper-Hayes, former Global Vice President of Republicans Overseas, as advisor to Donald Trump's 2017 transition team. Dr. Halper-Hayes, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Do you understand why so many in this country and in Europe more generally would have seen what happened in the Oval Office as an attempt to humiliate President Zelensky and be repulsed by it?
Well, if they watched all 53 minutes, then I don't think they would have that feeling. If they saw clips of it, which of course will be clips of J.D. Vance and Trump being very angry with Zelensky, then of course they would come to that.
Could you imagine President Trump speaking to, say, President Putin in that way? And isn't it precisely the point that he wouldn't, that is part of the problem?
Well, if President Putin pushed him the way Zelensky pushed Trump,
what did Zelensky do? What did he do that was so egregious in your view?
Well, one is that he started litigating the 2014. He said, I don't want a ceasefire.
He said he wants peace repeatedly. He just doesn't want it on Russia's terms, which you'll understand because Russia invaded his country.
But he said, I don't want a ceasefire. He made that comment to Trump.
He said he doesn't want a ceasefire if he knows that Putin is just going to renege on it a couple of months later, which is fair enough, isn't it? Because he's done that repeatedly, you will accept.
Exactly.
No, not exactly. I mean, the point is that, of course, anyone wants a ceasefire, but there's no point having a ceasefire, is there? Which is what Zelensky was saying to Trump, if Putin is just going to renege on it shortly afterwards.
And Trump was saying, how do you really know? I mean, if you're really coming from that position, that no one can guarantee anything. But if you don't move forward to get something into an agreement and then be able to put the right security.
But what has Putin said that gives you or President Trump any indication at all that he even wants a ceasefire? Putin has said he doesn't want a ceasefire at this point.
Putin is... Look, I'm not here to have an argument because you clearly have a position that I don't agree with.
What would that be? What would that position be?
Well,
I mean, we would both agree, wouldn't we, for a start, that Putin started the war?
Yeah, what I would say is that Putin legally violated international law. Morally, he thought he was right, and strategically...
But you would agree that morally he was wrong?
I know I would not agree morally is wrong. I would agree legally he was wrong.
You would agree, you would not think that a man who literally, as we speak, still sends drone attacks to kill Ukrainian civilians is morally wrong?
Oh, and you think that Ukraine isn't doing anything to the Russians?
Ukraine didn't invade Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine. You wouldn't agree that was morally wrong?
Okay.
Been allowed to exercise their democratic and sovereign rights as nations and join that club.
Oh, God. You know what? I don't like having my words twisted. No. I really don't.
You don't like... Well, but that's the point of an interview, isn't it? Is to discuss what you're saying. And I'm just asking you... You're saying... With respect, Doctor, I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. You're saying that those countries should never have been allowed to join NATO, and then we wouldn't have been in this situation. And I'm saying to you that surely those countries should have been allowed...
No, I didn't say that. Well, see, that's why... No, hold on a minute.
But you cited what happened in the... so you're saying that it's fine for them to join NATO, then?
I didn't say any of those things, and I don't like when someone tries to give words and interpret without understanding. I'm done. Okay. I'm off. I don't like you.
Okay, well, that's fine, Dr. Halper-Hayes. Maybe some of the listeners won't like you, but that's fine. I'm entirely indifferent to that. I'm very grateful for your time. Dr. Jan Halper-Hayes there, former Global Vice President of Republicans Overseas. Apparently I'm not going to be on her Christmas card list. Maybe I will be with Oliver in Harlesden, though. Oliver.
Wow, props to Lewis Goodall. That was genuinely quite a spectacle. What is it with these fanatical Trump loyalists? these MAGA devotees who endlessly parrot Russian propaganda only to play the victim when faced with the slightest opposition. They crumble like wet tissue paper at any hint of challenge, a complete embarrassment. With every question he asked, she seemed utterly unable to articulate her views. It's mind-boggling. This is exactly what we need more of. Honestly, I'm really proud of Lewis Goodall. LBC, the UK radio station where this happened, has quite an audience, and I do tune into a few people there occasionally. What Goodall did is something we genuinely need more of, and I must admit, I believe US news reporters should take a leaf out of his playbook and confront these Russian narratives more assertively. The people spewing such rhetoric often have no substance to back it up, and that is evident when their confidence crumbles under scrutiny. It's fascinating to observe, especially when she started talking about countries moving east, which is pure Russian narrative. Being from the West, where we deeply value democracy and the right of nations to choose their path, it shouldn't be Russia deciding what they can or cannot do. But as we know all too well, we are in strange times indeed. People who have pledged their allegiance to Trump take to platforms like LBC, encountering someone like Lewis Goodall, attempting to skirt around certain narratives. They dislike pushback because they're accustomed to unchallenged airtime on American radio, where even the rare rebuttal is merely a gentle nudge. Real, thorough questioning is scarce, but more American reporters should be tearing into these baseless arguments. This needs to become commonplace. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you all think about this intense takedown by Lewis Goodall that actually led to her resignation on live radio. I absolutely loved it. Share your thoughts in the comments. And if it's your first time here, and you're interested in my take on American politics from across the pond in the UK, please hit subscribe and join the community. If you found value in this video, comment, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next one.